All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Board of Administration meeting. I'm calling the meeting to order, and our first order of business is roll call.
Teresa Taylor,
Here.
David Miller,
Excused for a moment.
Malia Cohen, Mike DeToy,
Here.
Monica Erickson, Troy Johnson, Patrick Henning for Fiona Ma, Lisa Middleton,
Present.
Kevin Palke,
Good morning.
Ramon Rubalcaba,
Present.
Yvonne Walker, Melissa Willett, Dr. Dale Willis.
Excused. With that, I'm going to read the open session attestation language for Mr. DeToy. Mike, because we're not all present in the same room, board members are participating from remote locations that are not accessible to the public. Bagley-Keene requires that the remote board members make certain disclosures about any other persons present with them. Accordingly, the board members participating remotely must each attest that either one, they are alone, or two, there are one or more persons present with them who are at least 18 years old, and the nature of the board member's relationship to each person. At this time, I will ask you to verbally attest one way or the other.
I attest that I am alone.
Thank you, Mr. DeToy.
Sounds so sad.
All right, with that, I am going to ask Patrick to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Henning. So good morning, everybody. I'm going to start off with the my report, and welcome to our short board month. I'd like to begin by highlighting a new video that we recently released that offers a closer look at the important work of the CalPERS board. The video was created by our Office of Public Affairs to help our members and employer partners better understand the role of the board. As fiduciaries, we are responsible for overseeing a system that serves more than 2 million members and manages hundreds of billions of dollars. The video does a great job of bringing that responsibility to light. We are highlighting who we are and the decisions we make on behalf of our members. So it also captures kind of the personal thoughts of several of our board members and why they chose to serve. So can we take a look at the video right now?
Yvonne Walker. I'm the retiree representative on the CalPERS board. Retirement security has always been very important to me. In my former life as the president of SEIU Local 1000, I met a member. It broke my heart because she was saying that because of the recession, she could not afford to retire. And I thought to myself, how sad is it, right? That, you know, after having a wonderful career in public service, you have to worry about, can I retire, and can I retire securely? And that's why I'm interested in the work that we do in CalPERS.
My name is Michael DeToy. I'm the governor's appointee for local government, and I've been on the CalPERS board for just over a year. Besides being on the City Council of Hermosa Beach, I serve as a fire captain for the City of Riverside. So not only am I elected official, but I'm also a CalPERS member. I want to be on the CalPERS board not only to serve the members of CalPERS, but also the taxpayers of California, to make sure that there is a well-funded pension system our members can enjoy in retirement, and also lessen the impacts on local government so they can help fund vital services, reinvest money in their parks and their streets.
My name is Lisa Middleton. I have been on the CalPERS board since May of 2019. The CalPERS board needed to do a stronger job of reaching out. We could explain to folks why a defined benefit retirement system is in fact affordable for the people of California, for California governments, and is something that makes us a stronger economy and makes the workforce of local government, state government, our schools so much stronger and secure.
My name is Ramon Rubalcaba. I'm serving my third term on the Board of Administration. I'm an appointee of the Speaker of the Assembly. I spent most of my life working as SEIU local unions in Southern California. I saw it as a responsibility, given my background, to sort of provide some governance and oversight to the board. I'm very proud of CalPERS. I think they're up in the frontier as far as creating new levels of governance and also fiduciary responsibility to make sure that the benefits there for the members, especially the delivery of healthcare. I think CalPERS is a very good staff. We want to make sure that our members are healthy and have the best healthcare available.
My name is Teresa Taylor. I've been on the CalPERS board for 11 years. I was president of the board for the last 3 and was just recently reelected to president of the board. I represent state workers. That's about 400,000 members. I'm a member of SEIU Local 1000, which is 100,000 of those members. So there's so many reasons why I ran for the CalPERS board. Right after the crash, my husband lost his 401k, which was a couple of $100,000, and then he was disabled at work, and we had to rely on my pension. So it became first and foremost important to my whole family. And then also, when I started working in the state of California, I joined the state of California for the pension and the healthcare. As a Local 1000 member, I represent my members at work, and one of the most important things to them is healthcare. First on the healthcare, does an amazing job trying to contain costs while keeping affordable healthcare. And then on the investment side, I've been here since we were about 65% funded, and we are now about 84% funded. And I think part of my mission the entire time here was to help get us to where we're going.
The CalPERS investment staff is doing a phenomenal job, not only with their increasing returns, but also diversifying the risk. And thus, we're going to be decreasing the cost of employer share contributions and employee contributions moving forward.
Service is baked into everything that we do as an organization.
CalPERS has this drive to be the best, and it's exciting to be a part of that.
All right. Thank you. I hate watching myself, just FYI. So with that, I just want to remind and encourage everybody to take a few minutes to watch it on our website and share it with others who want to better understand our purpose and our passion to serve. And then finally, I want to take a moment to recognize Earth Day, which we celebrate on April 22nd. It is Earth Month right now. Earth Day is a reminder of the importance of protecting our environment and building a more sustainable future. That purpose closely aligns with what CalPERS is doing to address climate risk and invest in sustainable solutions. As a long-term investor, we know that environmental stewardship is essential to deliver strong, sustainable returns for our members over time. Finally, I want to give you guys an update. Our July offsite will take place on July 13th through the 15th at Monterey Beach Hotel. At the Monterey Beach Hotel in Monterey. This offsite is an important opportunity for the board to step back and focus on long-term priorities. And we're still shaping the agenda with our leadership team. We will share the topics in the coming months. With that, I will turn it over to our CEO for her report, Ms. Frost.
Thank you. Good morning, President Taylor and board members. Because of our size, CalPERS often attracts public attention when we make a move in the market. That's especially true when we seem to be going against some of the current thinking. We've seen this happen in the past few weeks in private credit. Our investment team did take advantage of an opportunity to buy loans that had good collateral. They fit well within the portfolio and had attractive terms. We were fully briefed throughout that process as well. And I've mentioned this before, but when we brought Stephen Gilmore on as our new Chief Investment Officer, he said we are going to find opportunities in the market that appear to be going against the herd. So I think this is an illustration of that point. We do have absolute confidence in our investment team. It is their job to look for those opportunities they believe will generate the long-term returns that we need to pay the members' benefits. With $600 billion or so under management, we have added a modest amount of private credit. We currently sit around 4% of the portfolio. We, at one point, had a target of 8%. Under TPA, we'll continue to reevaluate whether those are the appropriate targets moving forward. But remember, we do this to diversify the portfolio and to diversify the risk across the portfolio. So our investment team will continue, again, to look for those attractive opportunities and evaluate them solely based on fundamentals. As long-term investors, we don't need to run scared the minute the market experiences some turmoil, whether that be in the public markets, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, or in private credit over the last month or so. While our investments do get a lot of attention, many of our team members, including those outside of the investment office, do amazing work behind the scenes. One of these team members is Jagmeet Bender, who is sitting behind me. Jagmeet, if you want to raise your hand. We just found out that Jagmeet has been named as the Chief Technology Officer of the Year by the California Public Sector CIO Academy, which chose him from a pool of CTOs nominated across state service. We are proud to have Jagmeet on the team. He has helped make CalPERS a leader in technology and innovation and has deployed new solutions and real-time monitoring to protect sensitive member data. He has fostered a culture of trust and has empowered his team members. His type of leadership helps make CalPERS a place where people want to work. We've been building this workplace culture for years, and one important way that we know if we're succeeding is through our annual employee engagement survey. So let's just do a quick round of applause for Jagmeet before we go into that. Thank you. So next, I'd like to share some of the key takeaways from our annual employee engagement survey. First, our participation rate was it was at 78%, which is a very high participation rate in a survey. So we're very proud of the team for trusting that we were going to take action on the feedback that we were receiving. Second, I'm also happy to say scores continue to improve, and we're getting back to where we were prior to COVID. This year, they rose in every category compared to 2024, and the highest scores were in customer focus, manager relationships, clarity of direction, and respect and dignity. 86% of team members noted that their team leaders support skill and career development, and 85% reported their leaders recognize their achievements. Our Net Promoter Score rose to 25.5 this year. At one point, we were in negative Net Promoter Score. This is a 16.4-point increase from our 2024 results. This score reflects how likely our own team would refer someone to work at CalPERS. And so that's a really important indication of the health of the organization. But we think we can do better. We'll continue to find opportunities for improvement in the following areas: career growth and development, team member empowerment, a sense of belonging, and feeling valued and recognized. For us, these surveys are also action items. I think that is the secret to getting the participation rate up. People do believe that we'll take action based on that feedback, and we've proven that over the last, I would say, the last 4 years. Our individual department leaders do get their own scores as long as they have enough of their team responding to the survey. And they are currently collaborating with their teams on how they want to address some of the lower scoring areas. And it is different across the organization. Some teams score higher in a particular area, others may score a little bit lower. So we'll see action plans that are customized to the feedback that that team leader is receiving. Our hope always is that we see our scores continue to rise until we get to a sustainability level, but even then the work isn't done. We need to sustain that for long periods of time and continue to listen to our team. And of course, our goal is really to create and sustain that culture where everyone feels they can bring their whole selves into CalPERS, that they have rewarding work to do, that they are aligned to our mission, and that they have a work-life balance. These conditions will empower our team to do their best work on behalf of our members and the participants in our health program as well. So that does conclude my report, President Taylor, but I am happy to take any questions. Thank you.
I'm not seeing any questions for you, Ms. Frost. Thank you very much. With that, I'm going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is our action consent items. We're approving April 14th, 2026 Board of Administration timed agenda. approval of the April 18th, 2026 Board of Administration meeting minutes, board travel, approval of committee delegations. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved.
I have a motion by Mr. Henning. Do I have a second? Oh, I'm sorry. Second by Troy. With that, I know that we have to do a roll call vote. Thank you.
David Miller.
Excused?
Deborah Gallegos. Michael DeToy.
Aye.
Monica Erickson. Troy Johnson. Patrick Henning.
Aye.
Lisa Middleton.
Aye.
Kevin Palkey.
Aye.
Ramon Rubalcaba. Yvonne Walker. Melissa Willett.
Yes.
Dr. Dale Willis.
Excused. So with that, the motion carries. We will move on to the information consent items. I have not received any requests to take any items off and talk about them. So with that, we will move on to item 6, item 7, the reports and actions. And first up is, you got it, Lisa Middleton for Finance Administration.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Finance and Administration Committee met on April 13, 2026. The committee recommends and I move the board approve the following. Do you want us to do all of these together or one at a time?
Is that okay? All together is fine.
Thank you. Agenda item 3C, approve April 2026 prospective report on solicitations, contracts, purchase orders, and letters of engagement. Agenda item 3D, approve 1959 Survivor Benefit Program Actuarial Valuation Report as of June 30, 2025, and the corresponding transmittal letter to the Governor and Legislature, and adopt the employer and employee monthly premiums for fiscal year 2026-27. Agenda item 3E, approve the June 30, 2025 Judges Retirement System Actuarial Valuation Report and the corresponding transmittal letter to the Governor and Legislature, and encourage the Governor and Legislature to adopt an employee contribution schedule that includes advance funding of the judges' retirement system. Agenda item 3F, approve the June 30, 2025 Legislators' Retirement System Actuarial Valuation Report and the corresponding transmittal letter to the Governor and the Legislature, and adopt the employer contribution amount of $505,688 for the period of July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027 for the legislators' retirement system. Agenda item 5A, approve the funding of $70.9 million for project-specific work and $3.5 million for 5% contingency buffer as part of the 2026-27 investment office budget to continue the progress the Investment Data and Technology Initiative during 2026-27. Agenda item 5B, approve the 2026 annual budget in the amount of $3.45 billion and 2,843 positions. Agenda item 5C, approve the proposed elected board member percentages of time to be spent on board-related duties based on board and committee selections held in February and March 2026. Agenda item 5D, adopt the actuarial determined employer contribution rates and approve the member contribution rates for state plans for the period July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. Agenda item 5E, approve the employer contribution of $26.40 for the schools pool for the period July 1, 2026 to June 30, 2027. Agenda item 5F, approve the Judges Retirement System 2 Actuarial Valuation Report as of June 30, 2025, in the corresponding transmittal letter to the governor and the legislature, and adopt the employer contribution rate of 22.18% and a member contribution rate of 16.75% for salary for members subject to the Public Employees Pension Reform Act 2013 PEPRA for the period July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027 for the Judges Retirement System number 2.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Middleton. On all 10 items, the motion was made by the committee chair. Any discussion on the motion? If not, can we call a roll call vote, please?
David Miller,
Is excused.
Deborah Gallegos, Michael DeToy,
Aye.
Monica Erickson, Troy Johnson, Patrick Henning, Lisa Middleton,
Aye.
Kevin Palkey,
Aye.
Ramon Rubalcaba,
Aye.
Yvonne Walker, Melissa Willett. Yes. Dr. Dale Willis.
Excused. Motion carries for all 10 items on the Finance Administration Committee. With that, please, Ms. Middleton, continue.
Thank you. The committee received reports on the following topics: long-term care valuation report, semi-annual health plan financial report, asset liability management, first reading, judges, judges 2, and legislators, actuarial assumptions. The committee heard public comment on the following topics: the 2026-27 annual budget process. At this time, I'd like to share some of the highlights of what to expect at the June Finance and Administration Committee meeting. Asset liability management, second reading, judges, judges 2, legislators, actuarial assumptions, modernizing investment data and technology update. The next meeting of the Finance and Administration Committee is scheduled for June 2026 in Sacramento, California. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Middleton, for your report. With that, we will move on to the Performance Compensation and Talent Management Committee. With that, Mr. Palkey.
Thank you, Madam President. The Performance Compensation and Talent Management Committee met on April 13th, 2026. While there were no action items at yesterday's meeting, there is one action item from the February meeting that the committee approved but was not ratified by the board, and that we need to take action on. This pertains to revisions to the compensation policy that staff prepared to align with AB 692's new legal requirements regarding repayment terms and obligations that take effect this year. And so with that, the committee recommends, and I move that the board approve the following. Agenda item 4E from the February PCTM committee agenda: revisions to the board's compensation policy for executive and investment management positions to comply with Assembly Bill 692, including updated repayment requirements for recruitment differential payments.
On motion by committee, is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. With that, can we have a roll call vote?
David Miller, Deborah Gallegos, Michael DeToy,
Aye.
Monica Erickson, Troy Johnson, Patrick Henning, Lisa Middleton,
Aye.
Kevin Palkey,
Aye.
Ramon Rubalcaba,
Aye.
Yvonne Walker, Melissa Willett. Yes. Dr. Dale Willis.
Excuse. Motion carries. With that, Mr. Palkey.
Thank you. The committee received reports on the following topics: aligning incentives through a total portfolio approach and annual review 26-27 incentive metrics. The chair directed staff to provide additional information regarding restrictions on the CEO and CIO providing input on incentive programs. The committee heard public comment on the following topics: incentive metrics and reward structures, acceptable levels of performance for incentive payouts, and conflict of interest laws. At this time, I'd like to share some highlights of what to expect on the June 26 Performance Compensation and Talent Management Committee meeting. The committee will review the 26-27 incentive metrics and the 26-27 incentive plan of the Chief Executive Officer. The next meeting for the Performance Compensation and Talent Management Committee is scheduled for June 16th, 2026 in Sacramento, California.
Thank you, Mr. Palkey. That's all our committee reports. With that, we will move on to action agenda items 8. And Mr. Palkey, you're still, oops. Yeah, you're still on. There
Thank
you
you. So it is my understanding that staff and the members at agenda item 8A4 have reached settlement. Therefore, I move to withdraw agenda 8A4 from further consideration by the board and adopt the proposed decisions at agenda item 8A1 through 3 as the board's own decision, with the minor modifications argued by staff to agenda item 8A1.
Okay. On the motion,
Did we pull 4? I just have a question on 4.
4 is out. It's been removed because the settlement was.
I understand that, but I have a question that I want to ask. I'm not asking us to read.
Microphone, okay. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I said I had a question on 4 before we voted. I know that it's out and we're not voting on it, but I just had a question on it.
All right.
Because, and I'm, so I've received emails saying that this should be, the board should look at making this a presidential decision, even if people make, even if they got to a settlement. And so I just wanted a little more background on this. I mean, I don't know one way or the other, but I'd just like to hear a little bit more about this, about why we should or should not.
All right.
So, Ms. Walker, I think you could ask questions from staff about the decision, or your independent counsel, Chirag Shah, if he's on the line, but whether or not to make it a presidential decision has not been agendized, and so it wouldn't be in order for a discussion about it at this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Did we finish that?
I made a motion, I need a.
Okay, motion's been made. I need a second.
Second.
All right, motion's been made by Mr. Palkey, seconded by Mr. Rubalcava. I need a roll call vote, please.
David Miller,
Excused.
Deborah Gallegos, Michael DeToy,
Aye.
Monica Erickson, Troy Johnson, Patrick Henning, Lisa Middleton,
Aye.
Kevin Palkey,
Aye.
Ramon Rubalcava,
Aye.
Yvonne Walker,
Aye.
Melissa Willett. Yes. Dr. Gail Willis.
Excused. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Let me make sure I don't have any public requests to speak. With that, we will move on to,
I got one more with the.
oh, you do have one more.
So on 8B1,
Lean closer to the mic, please.
thank you. I move to deny the petition, agenda item AB1.
All right, on motion by Kevin, I need a second. Second by Mr. Johnson. All those in favor, please take a roll call vote.
David Miller. Malia,
Is excused.
Deborah Gallegos. Michael DeToy.
Aye.
Monica Erickson. Troy Johnson. Patrick Henning. Lisa Middleton.
Aye.
Kevin Palkey.
Aye.
Ramon Rubalcava.
Aye.
Yvonne Walker.
Aye.
Melissa Willett. Yes. Dr. Gail Willis.
And she's excused. The motion carries. With that now, are you sure we're done? Okay. We'll move on to agenda item 9, information agenda items, state and federal legislative update. And that is Mr. Brown. Please take over.
All right. Good morning, Madam President, board members. Danny Brown, CalPERS team member. This is the state and federal legislative update. On the state side, the legislature reconvened last week from their spring recess, which started a 3-week sprint to next Friday's policy committee deadline. As we are still relatively at the beginning of the legislative session, legislative bills and their content continue to change rapidly. I have a couple of examples of that, which I will discuss with you shortly. But first, I wanted to mention that the board-sponsored bill, SB 939, passed out of Senate Labor, Public Employment, and Retirement Committee last week on consent and is scheduled to be heard in the Senate Appropriations next week. Next, I want to highlight two bills that were recently gutted and amended, starting with SB 1089 by Senator Richardson, which creates a GLP-1 mandate that only applies to CalPERS. Based on the actual bill language, it appears to require every CalPERS health plan to offer optional coverage of GLP-1s for weight loss at the most favored nation price. However, based on conversations with the author and her staff, they indicated the intent of the bill is to have only one of the CalPERS health plans include coverage for GLP-1s. This model is inconsistent with the way CalPERS health plans operate, and if it creates enough migration to the one plan offering GLP-1s, it would jeopardize the stability of the entire CalPERS health program. Based on what the health program has shared, regardless of the author's intent, in either case, if the bill became law, CalPERS would need to apply it to all of its plans. The reason is, if you applied the benefit to only a subset of the plans, it would attract higher cost members to those plans, ultimately destabilizing them. Also, the bill assumes that GLP-1s can be provided at the most favored nation price, but doesn't include any mechanism in the bill to guarantee that the health plans can obtain the GLP-1s from the drug companies at these prices. And a drug mandate bill like this one, without a workable cost control mechanism, will result in CalPERS having to pay whatever price a drug company wants to charge. The bill has only been in print for a couple of weeks, so we are early in the process, and we should expect changes to the bill as it moves through its first policy hearings. We will continue to work with the author and the legislature in the coming weeks, but the bill is concerning, and we will be prepared to recommend a position at the next board meeting if necessary. The second bill is SB 1319 by Senators Cortese and Durazo. This bill is sponsored by UCFW and Unite Here Local 11 and will amend the California Public Records Act to require CalPERS, along with all other California public retirement systems, to disclose additional information regarding their private investments. According to the author's fact sheet, the bill will specifically require the disclosure of the following information: a direct comparison of after-fee private equity returns with public market benchmarks, reasonable disclosure of reductions in asset values for private credit investments, disclosure of the companies controlled through private investments, and disclosure of those companies, where those companies operate and the number and types of workers at those companies. When CalPERS co-sponsored legislation back in 2005 to establish a clear standard on what private investment information should be subject to public disclosure by public retirement systems, it represented a compromise between protecting confidential financial information and respecting the public's legitimate interest to investment information. The 2005 legislation specifically protected records containing information regarding the portfolio positions. This proposal will roll back this protection. And like in 2005, the concern is this change would put CalPERS at a competitive disadvantage with other institutional investors outside of California who don't have the same disclosure requirements. Right now, CalPERS is considered a preferred limited partner for the most coveted general partners. If this bill limits our access to these general partners and their top-performing private funds, there could be several negative consequences. First and most important, it could negatively impact the overall returns of the retirement fund, resulting in increased contributions. It could limit our access to venture and growth funds that drive innovation and job growth in California. It could jeopardize our ability to grow our investments and partnerships with emerging and diverse managers. And finally, limit our opportunities to invest in climate solutions and reach our 100 billion climate action goal by 2030. The bill also creates several legal, reputational, and operational risks. If this bill continues to move, we will bring you a complete bill analysis in May, as we are looking to add a full board meeting next month. Madam President, I can pause there, or I can move to the federal update.
I do have a question from Board Member Walker and Board Member Willett. Ms. Walker first.
Thank you. I'm assuming on the bill that referenced the GLP-1s that they didn't include funding to pay for how it would impact us. If they did that, I'd be fine with it, but until they do, I'm not.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Ms. Willett?
Thank you. If it's okay, not out of order, I have a question on another bill at 1383.
Yes.
The PEPRA amendments. I was just wondering if there's a staff assessment on the fiscal impact to our public agency employer contribution rates, and if we've modeled what that formula change would be for those safety members, or is that something that our pension outlook tool does for our employers?
Yeah, yes. So we we did prepare a cost analysis that kind of gave the employers an idea of how it might impact them. The bill was amended in January, and so the actuarial team is in the process right now of updating the analysis based on those amendments, but hopefully that will be ready next month. But I will, if Scott has something to add.
Yeah, as Danny mentioned, with the amendments, we're recosting the impact to the agencies, and we should have our analysis ready next month. Right now, you can't use Pension Outlook to change benefits and analyze that. That's basically we have to basically be able to program it based on what comes in. But if it goes through, obviously anything that gets legislated will add to the Pension Outlook, so agencies can look at the impact that this would have on their pension plan.
Thank you. I think that for employer partners, just being able to model and think about the future is really important. And I appreciate looking forward to that impact next month. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Brown. No other questions if you want to move forward.
Sure, thank you. On the federal side, the House and Senate have recently returned from their 2-week spring recess. The Republican leadership will focus on their efforts to meet President Trump's June 1st deadline for a budget reconciliation package narrowly focused on funding ICE and Customs and Border Patrol. This could be followed by a second reconciliation bill to fund the war and won't leave much time in the legislative calendar to accomplish anything else prior to the midterms. Despite this, the legislative committees continue to work, some of it even on a bipartisan basis. But at this point, it's really viewed as setting the stage for next year. So we will continue to look for opportunities to engage with committees as well as federal regulatory agencies. In closing, I will mention 2 comment letters we recently submitted. The first one was submitted last month to CMS in response to a request for information regarding its proposed comprehensive regulations to uncover suspicious healthcare. In this letter, we address current issues Medicare Advantage is experiencing, including upcoding, prior authorization, and deceptive marketing. In addition, we offer ways in which CMS can leverage data transparency and data analysis to maintain program integrity, assess anomalies, and/or detect fraud as CalPERS achieves through its data warehouse. The second letter was submitted last week to SEC on their comprehensive review to reform Regulation SK. While we support Chairman Atkins' initiative to streamline compliance and reduce unhelpful boilerplate language, we raise concerns with eliminating critical disclosures that strengthen investor protection and foster corporate accountability, such as efforts to dilute executive compensation disclosures, any narrative characterizing human capital disclosures as a form of social engineering or regulation by shaming. Both letters can be found on our external website, and that concludes my update and available for any other questions.
So I'm, before I go on, I have Ms. Walker, but I just wanted to ask about HR 3402 and 4098. These are very specific bills that are, I don't know how to do this without saying it incorrectly, that are wrongly making accusations about how proxy voting works. Are we making a stand on that? Are we talking to people on these bills? Because this is ridiculous. Sorry.
We're talking to people on the policy. I don't think we've weighed in on specific bills because these specific bills probably aren't, have a chance of really going through.
Because of how much time they have.
And they're going to stop in the Senate. A lot of this is being done in the House, and the Senate really isn't going to take these up. But yes, when we have opportunities, we talk about the policy concerns with the attacks on the proxy advisors and how, we.
So we did already write a letter, I think I remember.
Well, I wouldn't say we wrote a letter, but when we meet with folks in person, and then and K&L Gates on our behalf also provides our messaging.
Okay, because one is asking specific for specific voting recommendations, which gets to, whether or not they'll attack our institution itself, right? And the other is just making a ridiculous argument that, well, it's in the title, Stopping Proxy Advisor Racketeering Act. I don't know if we need to send a letter. It's up to you guys and our folks in Washington.
And I know we're also working in conjunction with CII, who's
Okay.
weighing in on these topics.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ms. Walker, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but when you said suspicious healthcare, I just wanted to know what the definition of that was.
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure I can answer what suspicious healthcare is, but I mean that was in the name of the title, obviously that the administration put in the regulation or RFI. So I think that we view it as some of the things that we talked about is upcoding, some of the deceptive marketing, things like that. But yeah, sometimes the terminology, obviously, the administration uses when they're putting things out there wouldn't be the terminology we use.
Yeah, because I think it's problematic to define, to say something and not define it, because then that gives them the opportunity for however they want to define it, whether it's fraud or whatever. They could just stick whatever they wanted in there. So there should be a lot more specificity than just suspicious healthcare. I know you didn't write it, but.
Yes.
Mr. Palkey.
Thank you. Just really quickly, I'm sort of trying to jot some notes on this 1319 that you talked about earlier. But if there's a way to bring this forward for like a deep discussion on the true effects of that bill on the fund, I know that I've talked to several school employees, and knowing that they retire with a $600 check every month is not a lot. So hearing something like that might have some detrimental effect on the total fund itself is quite alarming to me. And so I'm hoping we can maybe set up an investment committee in May or something.
We can schedule a Board of Administration meeting because we do have a Pension and Health Benefits Committee meeting scheduled for May. So we'll just add on a Board of Administration and put this bill on for discussion and action.
And I don't know if it would be appropriate to have our Wilshire also
Sure.
sort of
You bet. We can
provide some
invite
comments
Tom
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And likely Makita, since they're your private
Yeah.
markets consultant. Yep.
Thank
We'll,
you.
we'll extend an invitation.
And then Marcy, I'm thinking that are we asking the authors to do anything right now, or are we waiting on that?
I met last week with the author and explained where we saw problems with the bill as it was currently written. I did extend an offer to meet with some of the sponsors to explain why we see these as problematic, or the language being problematic for us. We will also meet with the PERS chairs over the next few weeks. It is scheduled in Judiciary today, Senate Judiciary, and then next week in Senate PERS. So we'll reach out to see if Smallwood Cuevas can take some time and meet with us. And,
Okay.
Right. And then if it does get out of the Senate, then we'll start working on the Assembly side and work with Assemblymember McKenna on expressing our concerns. But we'll do a full session on this. We will invite your consultants, and then we'll have our investment team go through where we see the issues. And likely some of that may have to be enclosed.
Okay. Okay. Is that okay? All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Danny, anything else?
Nothing else, Madam President.
Thank you very much for your report. I appreciate it. I do have public comment right now for 9C. Summary of board direction comes first, though. So
Just the direction that I just noted was scheduling the May Board of Administration relative to Senate Bill 1319.
great. Thank you. Perfect. So 9C, I'm going to call all three in-person speakers: Sophia Sulivanoff, and excuse me for not saying that correctly, JJ Jelensik and Ruth Raditsky, to come down to the front. JJ's already here. I do have Sophia first on my list. So if you want to go first. then JJ, then Ruth. And everyone has 3 minutes.
Thank you. Honorable members of the board, I would like to call your attention to the removal of Agenda Item 8A4. Today, you have been deprived as a board of the opportunity to consider and decide for yourselves what is right. This matter involves post-retirement employment. The proposed decision from ALJ Juliet Cox addressed your staff's practices in declining to apply the 3-year statute of limitations legislated in Government Code 20164. This matter was removed because it was settled. The settlement provided the impacted annuitants with the ALJ's remedy, restoration of their pension benefits as they were before your staff's 7-year-long effort to forcibly reinstate them. CalPERS staff spent 7 years and wasted hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars and subjected your retirees to enormous distress to no end. This case is not unique, and so I ask you today to turn your attention to post-retirement employment and rebalance delegation to your staff with your responsibility for CalPERS policies. Public administrators and retirees are at a loss because of the lack of clarity and transparency. Many common scenarios, such as hiring independent contractors, lack discernible guidelines to apply to ensure compliance. Your staff says that they use certain test factors, but these test factors contain no bright lines, and completely opposite interpretations are made and tolerated with regard to these factors. There is an important role for you to play here besides investment management. Article 16, Section 17 of the California Constitution calls on you to discharge your duties solely in the interest of and for the exclusive purpose of providing benefits to participants, minimizing employer contributions, and defraying reasonable expenses of administering the system. A retirement board's duty to its participants and their beneficiaries shall take precedence over any other duty. Your governance policy, Section 6C, also calls you to actively engage, noting that the board is to monitor the performance of delegates and take corrective action when appropriate. I urge you to read the proposed decision, consider the performance of your delegates, and take the necessary steps to set appropriate policy or take APA-compliant regulatory action. It is time to acknowledge the practical necessity of agencies hiring annuitants. Agencies and retirees want to follow rules on post-retirement employment, but as Cal Cities, CSAC, and CSDA noted in their recent letter to you, they need to have clear rules that are consistently applied in order to do this. It is your duty to members and member agencies to set clear boundaries and direct staff to proportional, not punitive, administrative enforcement. Thank you, Ms. Walker, for your interest in this matter specifically, and thank all of you for your attention.
Thank you. Mr. Jelensik.
JJ Jelensik, RPA. March 16th was James Madison's birthday. The week of March 15 to 21 was Sunshine Week. CalPERS posted about both the importance of and its commitment to governmental transparency. On March 18th, you and your agents released this response to a public records request. The Epstein report was less redacted. You offered no reason for the specific redactions, but did cite Government Code Section 7922.000. An agency may justify withholding any record by demonstrating that the record in question is exempt under express provisions of this division, or that on the facts of the particular case, the public interest served by not disclosing the record clearly outweighs the public interest served by disclosure of the record. You offered no such demonstration. 7927.705, except as provided in sections 7924.510 7924.700 and 7929.610. This division does not require the disclosure of records, the disclosure of which is exempted or prohibited by pursuant to federal or state law, including but not limited to provisions of the evidence code related to privilege. You offered no citation. And 2928.710, your all-time favorite. However, 7928.710 covers only an investment in a private equity fund, a venture fund, a hedge fund, or an absolute return fund. There is nothing here to suggest that any of those investments were involved. One of the things you chose to hide was the peer group you were compared to. I find no federal or state law that prohibits such disclosure. I do not understand how the public interest served by not disclosing the record clearly outweighs the public interest served by disclosure of the record. 3 cheers for sunshine and transparency. What are the trustees hiding from the beneficiaries and why? Who is guarding the guards? I thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Jelensik. Ms. Radetzky?
Good morning. I'm Ruth Radetzky, here from San Francisco to ask you to sell Tesla. You're probably getting bored with me. I've got to say the drive from San Francisco isn't getting any shorter. In the years since we started asking you to sell Tesla, the stock price has been as high as $490, but closed at $352 yesterday, a loss of over 28% from its 52-week high. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down only 4%, and the S&P 500 are down less than 1% from their 52-week highs. You might have thought that a threat to the free flow of oil would have caused the price of the preeminent electric car company to go up, but no. Since February 28th, when the U.S. and Israel started the current war against Iran, while the Dow and the S&P 500 have stayed essentially flat, the price of a share of Tesla has actually fallen a bit more than $50, over 12%. We've told you over and over in many different ways how terribly shaky the 4.5 million share, still almost $1.6 billion as of yesterday, CalPERS investment in Tesla is. Tesla's fundamentals are no better than they were a year ago. Musk is still manipulating its price, and Musk is still using his Tesla-based wealth to try and manipulate elections around the US and Europe. Thankfully, he was not successful in Hungary, and to spread his racist ideology. If you didn't decide to sell Tesla at the last meeting, it's not too late. Please instruct the investment staff to unchain themselves from the index and use their expertise to take a critical, company-specific look at your 20 largest public equity holdings at least twice a year. I'm confident that if you did, you would sell Tesla. It is more crucial than ever that you do before you lose California's public servants' shirts. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we will move on to the callers on the phone. We have 5 callers now. So go ahead.
Yes, President Taylor, we have Monica Stinson to comment on item 9C. Monica Stinson, you are now live and can proceed with your comments.
Thank you. Good morning, board members. My name is Monica Stinson. I'm calling because I have an objection. My appeal letter was swapped. The appeal letter that you've been dealing with is not my appeal letter. I've spent so much time.
I can't understand
her. To have the correct appeal letter, be placed in the, be given to you. But I think it has not been done. So everything that you have been dealing with is false. There's been a lot of attempt to stop me from going ahead with this appeal. All my exhibits have been held. They are not being sent to you. The attorney Wakili is the one who is sabotaging me, and yet she's the same person who is receiving the documents for the board. That's conflict of interest. So she's picking and choosing what she's supposed to put in sent to the board. I've gone through a lot of harassment, a lot of bullying, causing a lot of fear, so I cannot go out and try to get help for my appeal. I'm requesting that the board cannot go forward with false information. I have not had a hearing. The attorney gave me dates that I did not agree with. I thought we agreed that I needed, different days because we could not argue we could not agree on the statement of issues. And now I know why we couldn't agree, because they were based on a different appeal letter. So all this time, everything you have there, I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to tell you that the appeal letter that you have is fake. This is obstruction of justice. I've tried to talk to everybody in the department. Everybody is saying let it just go through, because they're trying to let everything just pass through you without. I need to be able. I've waited for 10 good years. I need a hearing. I need a new judge, and I need another attorney. This is not acceptable. This should be free. I should be able to say what I want to say, and you board members decide. What do they have to fear? Why the sabotage? The sabotage is not necessary here.
Ma'am, can you wrap up? Can you wrap up? Your 3 minutes is over.
Oh, it's over. Board members, please don't go forward with a fake appeal, because then justice will not have been served. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for this. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. All my documents are very faint because of the way they made the copies, because everything is sabotage. And then the copies, the exhibits you have are not what I sent. They just put there a few. I sent over 50 exhibits.
Ma'am,
but they choose what.
Ma'am, how about I have somebody contact you? I need you to stop. We have other people waiting online. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure the board members have gotten my message. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Next, we have Anna Facio to comment on item 9C. Anna Facio, you are now live and can proceed with your comments.
Good morning. I'm Anna Facio, a 30-year state peace officer, investigator with the state of California, and I'm now a current retiree. I was appalled when I saw that Elon Musk spent $250 million to support Donald Trump's 2024 election as a quid pro quo with Trump's appointment of Musk to lead Doge, enabling Musk to slash all entities investigating Tesla and his other companies. This is really corruption in plain sight. And Musk companies faced at least $2.37 billion in potential liability from pending agency enforcement actions. This $2.37 billion liability was eliminated with the Doge magic wand when the Department of Transportation demonstrated Tesla's software and AI technology wasn't as good as advertised. Trump loosened rules on self-driving cars, benefiting Tesla but risking the safety of other U.S. drivers and pedestrians. Tesla's own data confirmed the crash rate of self-driving cars roughly 9 times worse than human drivers even with a trained safety monitor in the car. So please think about divesting from Tesla to protect the public and do away with the corruption of the Musk enterprise. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to make a request that everybody that's calling in on Tesla, if you have nothing new to add, please just say me too, or I agree with the previous caller, and let's move on. Thank you. Go ahead.
Next, we have Ralph Bullard to comment on item 9C. Ralph Bullard, you are now live and can proceed with your comments.
Yes, this is Ralph Bullard. I do agree with the previous speakers on Tesla. Let me just make one strategic point. Tesla is one of your largest holdings. And if Tesla is so overvalued, if you consider your top 20 holdings, how many of those other holdings have ridiculous price earnings ratio? If there are, you really need a process by which annually you evaluate your largest holdings and evaluate whether it makes sense for CalPERS to continue to hold them. One item I would bring up very quickly, SpaceX is going public. Last year, its income was $18.5 billion. It had a net loss of $5 billion. Musk plans for a valuation of about $1.5 trillion with his effort to rush SpaceX into the S&P 500 and NASDAQ indexes. You may end up holding a ridiculous amount of SpaceX in the next 6 months or 9 months. You should consider whether that's going to be a wise move. As always, I appreciate the board's attention. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's move on to the next caller. Do we have, is this the fifth one or do we have more? 2 more. Okay.
Next, we have Susan McCarthy to comment on item 9C. Susan McCarthy, you are now live and can proceed with your comments.
Hi, I'm Susan McCarthy. I live in San Francisco. I'm in CalPERS through my husband's work. Thank you for the chance to speak. I ask that CalPERS divest from Tesla stock because of the bizarre partisan political activities of its CEO, Elon Musk, which is making the company an unusually risky investment. I would like to remind you of the working paper put out by the National Bureau of Economic Research. That's working paper number 34413, if you're wondering, and let me know if I can get you a copy. The researchers looked at how Musk's polarizing and partisan actions affected Tesla sales in the US over 2.5 years, from October 2022 to April 2025. Here's a hint, Tesla sales went down. They found that the Musk partisan effect caused sales to go down between 67 and 83%. That's about 1 to 1.25 million cars not sold because of the way Elon Musk was acting. The sales of other electric cars went up, but not enough to make up for the unsold Teslas, only 17 to 22%. In other words, some people thought, I'm not going to buy a car from that guy's company. I'll buy a Rivian or a Leaf. But other people just thought, I'm not going to buy a car from that guy's company, and did not buy another electric car. This had 3 results. Fewer Teslas were sold, more EVs from other companies were sold, but the gap between how many Teslas were not sold and how many other electric cars were sold meant that fewer electric cars were sold. As a result, California will not meet its 2026 zero-emission vehicle target. If Elon Musk had not engaged in highly publicized partisan political activities, California would have been able to meet its goals. His hijinks had a negative environmental impact. Since then, Musk has been repeatedly quarreling with the US president and then making up with him again. He has been making sweeping announcements about changes at Tesla and his other companies, which he sometimes proposes to merge with Tesla. It's crazy. It's easy to see that Elon Musk's unprecedented and unpredictable behavior has seriously damaged his company. We shouldn't be invested in it. I'm grateful to the National Bureau of Economic Research for doing the numbers. Tesla's a very risky investment, and it's getting worse. I ask that CalPERS consider divesting Tesla stock as part of your fiduciary duty to California pension holders. And I agree with previous callers in asking that CalPERS perform annual review of its top 20 investments. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller, please. No more callers? Okay. All right. With that, we have one person in the auditorium, Teamy Hunter. Oh, I'm sorry, Teamy Hunter Pickett. If you want to come down to the front. Right here. You do. As soon as you sit down and introduce yourself, they'll start the clock.
Timmy Hunter Pickett, and I retired from the California Department of Corrections, and I've been associated with CalPERS for over 50 years. Before I was even born, both of my parents had insurance through CalPERS. And then I went to work for the state of California specifically so that I can get the benefits for my special needs child. And I've never had one problem with CalPERS in over 50-something years until now. And what happened was you guys allowed Included Health to be the go-between between Blue Shield and the covered person. And Included Health misunderstood me, and I had no idea that because they misunderstood me, they had the power to discontinue my health care coverage. Now I can understand it, discontinuing the relationship with Included Health, but for them to go and discontinue the particular health care that I pay for and I earned. I worked over 15 years as a first responder for CDCR, and I did it on purpose so that I can help my child. Included Health didn't like my tone on the line, and I believe they were intimidated because I'm a healthcare provider. A lot of the customer service representatives that I was talking to, I believe they were intimidated by me because I have a lot of healthcare knowledge, and I was trying to help them to do their job. So what has happened is my child has to go in the hospital in 2 weeks. We need the insurance that I've been having for him for the last 15 years. And they said, no, it's not going to be offered to you because you were rude. We didn't like your tone. And it was prejudicial, it was unfair, and I think the least you can do is to allow me to have an appeal process. And I truly apologize. I had no idea that CalPERS would give a third party that much power. I didn't even talk to Blue Shield. And they canceled my service, and I couldn't even get on the website. And these people promised to help me. I was looking for a doctor. They never did help me. They got tired of me because I kept calling every day, and they said, we don't like you, so we're going to cancel your insurance. I'm begging you to help me because whatever I need to do to get my PPO insurance back, I need to do that as soon as possible. I didn't threaten anybody or cuss anybody out or anything like that.
I'd like to have somebody from our healthcare office contact you.
Oh, thank you.
So I don't know how to get her information. Should she?
We are aware of the case, and so it is being actively worked by the team.
Okay.
Yeah, but you canceled my insurance. My
No,
child, you canceled my insurance, and my
Ma'am?
child has to go to the hospital in 2
Yeah,
weeks. He has a
I
hospital
understand,
visit.
and I'll have somebody get in contact with you.
It was not fair at all.
All right. With that, I believe we have no further public comment, phone or in person. So we will adjourn now into closed session for items 1 through 3 from the closed session agenda. This will include the following litigation matters: BDO USA PC versus CalPERS, Sacramento County Superior Court, case number 26 WM 000055. Granada v. CalPERS, Eastern District of California, case number 21-CV-01256. And we will also receive the General Counsel's update on pending litigation. After closed session, the board will reconvene in open session. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next month. month. And I wish everybody great weekend. Have a good one, you guys.